So my name is Thomas Blake. I work for Accenture out of the Atlanta office. Um, I have been with Accenture for 6 years, and I'm now on the Skills to Succeed Academy team. And so I'm happy to discuss this with you today. I think Pedro was going to give you some pointers at the beginning here, but I'm happy to do that. We have the Q&A. I'm sure you've been in other sessions today, so please use the Q&A if you have a question for me, so that it doesn't get buried in the chat. And then we will keep an eye on those throughout the session, and I'll make sure to get those answered before we get off the call. So if you're not familiar with Accenture, we are a professional services company in various industries, and technology is really at the heart of what we do. We have just over 500,000 employees around the world, and we have quite a bit of experience reviewing resumes and interviewing candidates through our onboarding process. And we took that point of view as an employer, as well as our technology know-how, and used that to create the Skills to Succeed Academy. As part of our corporate citizenship program, we had a goal by the end of 2020 to help 3 million people fill the skills that they need to get a job or start a business. And as you can see, we've exceeded that goal and hit 3.6 million. And there will be a new goal that's rolling out soon. I think it's 5 or 6 million by 2023. So of that 3.6 million that we've hit so far, over 200,000 people have used the Skills to Succeed Academy globally to get those employability skills, and more than 80% of those indicated that their employability skills improved through the Academy. Through our research and development of the Academy, we found that employers not only expect candidates to have technical skills like you teach your students, but those employability skills, and organizations are being asked to fill that employability skills gap. We found that learners need skills and confidence to plan their careers, find a job, and what to do in those first few days and weeks once they get the job so they can keep it. Digital learning allows students to learn anywhere, anytime, and allows the user to go at their own pace. It can reach more people at a lower cost, and in this instance, it's a completely free resource to our community partners. It can be tailored to each person's unique situation, and I'll show you a pre-assessment in a moment that will allow for a customized learning plan. So I'm going to show a quick video, and I need you all to let me know if you cannot hear it, because I have to use an external speaker here, since this software doesn't allow me to share my system audio. So this is just, it kind of sets the stage for what the Academy is like.
This is Sam, and this is Moira. They're two of the characters you'll meet in Accenture's Skills to Succeed Academy. You'll help them plan their careers, find the right job, and once they have a job, you'll help us keep it.
The Skills to Succeed Academy's got highly effective digital training.
And it's got unique simulation technology.
The Academy is kind of like a flight simulator for the world of work.
So you must have some weaknesses. Nobody's perfect. What would you say your weaknesses are? Each step of the way, you'll decide what we should say and do.
Sometimes we'll get it right.
And sometimes we'll make mistakes, so you don't have to.
Well, I'm not too good at getting up in the morning. I'm just not a morning person, which makes me really late for things. I really need to work on that. I've got no get up and go.
Sam, are you taking this seriously?
Different combinations of choices lead to different outcomes, so there's thousands of ways that things can turn out.
What would you say your weaknesses are?
One of my biggest weaknesses used to be taking criticism. At school, I used to get really defensive when teachers spoke about my work. Now I know that feedback can be a good thing, so I get less defensive nowadays.
Good example.
Now, it's just like real life.
So I'm glad that you guys confirmed that you could hear that. So thank you for that. And I just really like that video just because it's a quick little introduction to kind of just show you how it's a real life like flight simulator to getting a job. So as I mentioned, the Academy is a free online learning program, and it's designed to build skills and confidence in those job seekers. It was originally designed for a younger job seeker with the ages of 16 to 24, but it has been used with beneficiaries of all ages. We have one organization that even uses it as part of a senior citizenship re-entry program for older adults that are trying to get a job. It started in the UK about 5 or 6 years ago, and we worked with subject matter experts and job seekers themselves to understand the barriers job seekers face and mistakes they make during the employment process. It has since expanded to Australia, South Africa, Ireland, the Philippines, Canada, and then our US version rolled out in 2017. It is a very media rich and immersive way of learning by doing, and I'll show you in a moment how it works. But you kind of got an idea from that video there. And we worked with a gaming developer to make sure this experience was engaging and fun for the learner. It's very flexible on how it can be rolled out. It can be used in a distance learning self-study format, a classroom setting, or with an advisor, or any combination of those. Classroom when we maybe go back to normal, whatever normal looks like. So it's super easy to implement because all you need is an internet connection and a tablet or a PC, and because it's just a web-based learning platform. So just log in and start working through your modules. So as I've discussed, the benefits to the learners is that they can learn anywhere and at their own pace. They have a safe environment to make mistakes and learn in real time from a career coach on how to correct those mistakes, and then they can try again. And they can have a personalized learning journey based on their needs. It really benefits your faculty by saving their time and letting the learners complete tasks on their own before they come visit your advisors. And then your advisor and faculty can just follow up with, or have follow-up discussions and give them feedback on like creating their resume after they've done that in the academy. And then this time that's saved by your faculty, it helps build capacity within your organization. The 3 courses that we cover are You and Your Career, Getting a Job, and then Success in Work. You and Your Career has 6 modules where you will explore potential careers, consider your interests and your skills, understanding your transferable skills, and looking at your motivation and style. Learners can then create an action plan that they can physically walk away with from the academy. Getting a job is the most practical and meaningful piece of the academy, in my opinion. There are 20 modules there, and they will help you create and tailor a resume. You'll learn how to make a good first impression, prepare for a successful interview, whether that be in person, on the phone, or a panel. And we're actually adding some parts to that module on virtual interviewing. So making sure your background is free from distractions and testing your audio and video before your interview, etc. It also helps you learn how social media can help or hurt you in your job search. Then Success in Work has 10 modules, and it helps you focus on what you need in those first few days and weeks at your job. So it starts with the fundamentals like why it's important to be on time for work and how you can plan out your route the night before. And then it moves on to topics of professionalism, teamwork and collaboration, how to handle conflict in the workplace, time management, staying motivated, and really everything you need to become successful in your new job. So I've listed all the modules here for reference, and I sent a PDF of this to Pedro to possibly upload here or send out to the attendees. But this really just kind of gives you the objectives of each module so you can look through those later and get an understanding of what they try to accomplish. But really, you can implement any amount of these modules into your programming and really get a benefit. I mean, you could even just implement one of the modules and get some sort of benefit. So it's very modular, so you can easily tailor it to fit what your organization's needs are, what you're trying to teach to your students. We wanted to make it as realistic, relevant, and engaging as possible, and we did that by the use of characters from various geographies and life experiences who work through challenges with your learner. You saw Lila and Sam in the demo video earlier. Sam is 19 from Los Angeles. He wants to be in IT customer support. Lila's 16. She's just starting her career search, and so she wants to be a drummer, but her mom wants to be wants her to be a lawyer. Karen is from Atlanta looking for her first job. Daniel's from Milwaukee. He's been in trouble with the law and he's trying to get his life back on track. We have a veteran, a single mom, someone who's got a 4-year college degree, and she's been underemployed and she's now looking for something in corporate finance. So we really try to cover a lot of different types of storylines. I know that since this was originally created for learners 16 to 24, there's not a lot of age diversity in these characters, and we're working on adding some new modules to the Academy now that should roll out this fall, and we'll have some older adults also, learning some things in the Academy or going through a journey with your learner. As I said, the Academy was built by a gaming developer and is like a flight simulator for real life, fully immersing the user into the world of finding a job and what it's like once you get that job. Learners meet those young adults that you just saw with the real world career challenges, and they learn how to navigate those challenges in a safe environment instead of making mistakes in real time while interviewing, for example. I remember when I graduated college, like I had a couple of really bad interviews that I walked out of there and I was like, well, forget that job. But I learned from every single one of them, right? So it was a great experience, but I had to learn in real time as opposed to on a platform like this. What makes the Academy so engaging is the blended learning format. As you saw in the video, there's online materials, and then there's offline materials that can be downloaded after each relevant module that we call activity packs. So the online materials are those performance simulations, and that's what you saw an example of, where you choose the way the conversation goes. And there's real life consequences, and a virtual coach will tell you like, whoops, that didn't go so well. And then help you learn what you did wrong. The computer-based training modules, they're more sequential in nature, and it's a more interactive way of learning with activities and multiple characters built into them, videos, quizzes, and then they've got feedback surveys and then those activity packs that I mentioned. So those activity packs are what really bring the Academy to life. You have action plans that you can, and checklists that you can walk away with. You have templates that you can use to help build your resume, and just many different activities that actually bring the Academy into the physical world instead of just being an online platform. And then we've created advisor-led activities for you. So you don't actually have to go through the entire Academy to learn all the modules. We have built in into the advisor tab of the Academy, there's a lot of materials that we've built for you, but one of them is the module guide and diagnostic. And, I just had a partnership with an organization here in Atlanta who rolled out a summer program and said that really helped save a lot of her time, because those discussion questions that we built in were perfect for her follow-up discussions with her students. So I just got some great feedback. I was just on a call with her earlier today. So really great news there that somebody's using that stuff. So I want to show you around just a little bit. And let's see. This one is what I want to show you first. So when you go to the Academy's website, s2sacademy.org, once you become a partner, we would give you your own access code. And so that would tie all the learners that create an account with that access code direct. It would link them to your organization. So then when we do reports on the back end, we would be reporting against, whatever organization you're with. So I wanted to show you that. And then once you're in the Academy, let me get over here. So I'm logged in as an advisor. So you have the advisor tab that has a lot of materials that are there for you. There's a training handbook. There's an onboarding module that you can take, which is a training module for you. And then there is the module guide and diagnostic that I was talking about that helps you facilitate discussions. You can have certificates for your students if you want to give them certificates of completion. And then there's marketing materials here. There's the video that I just showed you, and a poster, a social media kit, and some marketing messages that we've created for you. So I'm going to show you how to do that pre-assessment. So on the courses tab here, this is what it would look like when you first click the courses tab. I had already completed the assessment once before, so I had to click change. So let's say that I want to brush up on my interview technique, and it's going to be a face-to-face interview, even though that's not real, but I want to get these specific courses up here. So out of the 36 modules we have, if you're just looking for what you need to brush up on your face-to-face interview, you would get 7 modules that show up there. So that's just a way that you can customize your learning plan. So I'm going to show you Into the Wild. So this is a performance simulation.
I'm Kayla. I'm going to give you help and feedback. Sam's about to arrive at an interview for a job at Grizzly Hotels in Yellowstone. The job is part of a countrywide program to encourage young people to work in our national parks.
You see how she's there to guide the user through how to navigate the platform.
Good to meet you. Thanks for coming to the group address on the stage.
It's up to you to decide what happens next. Click each option to read it. Click Watch to see it. And when you've decided, click Choose. Sometimes the text of all the options will be the same. That's when you'll need to watch the body language closely by clicking Watch. If you get stuck, click the question mark and click Next or Close to start.
All right, so as she said, if you hover over it, it shows what he's going to say. But if you hover over all 3 of these, you'll see it's the same thing. So it depends on how he says it. So let's see how he says it here.
Yes, great, thanks. I got to talk with some of the hotel staff who were traveling with us, and we saw some buffalo on the way to the park, which was cool. The interviewer yesterday told me to give this to you. Here you go.
It looks a little wore out to me. I don't know about you.
Yes, great, thanks. I got to talk with some of the hotel staff who were traveling with us, and we saw some buffalo on the way through the park, which was cool. The interviewer yesterday told me to give this to you. Here you go.
All right.
Yes, great, thanks. I got to talk with some of the hotel staff who were traveling with us, and we saw some buffalo on the way through the park, which was cool. The interviewer yesterday told me to give this to you. Here you go.
So some of those differences are a little subtle, but somebody put in the chat which one you think I should select. 1, 2, or 3. And Sandra, I hope that I answered your question about the access code. There is a public access code if you hit that little question mark if you want to register and poke around a little bit, but just my contact information will be at the end. I can set you up a demo ID. All right, it looks like 2, so we're going to choose 2.
Yes, great, thanks. I got to talk with some of the hotel staff who were traveling with us, and we saw some buffalo on the way through the park, which was cool. The interviewer yesterday told me to give this to you. Here you go.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, those bison are amazing, aren't they? You don't want to get on the wrong side of them.
So that's just an example of how that goes. Let's see. I want to choose a wrong answer really quick. So I think this one's going to be the wrong one. Yeah, this is the wrong one. So I'm just going to pick one just so you can see what happens if you make a mistake.
I didn't see any bison on the list. Yes, I was listening. I'm sorry, but you've come all the way here for nothing. Goodbye.
Whoops, that didn't go too well. Here's an overview of how you're doing. Click Next to get more detailed feedback.
All right, so she's going to talk.
I'm going to give you feedback on each.
So you can see what happened. You can see what you chose. You can see the options that you rejected. And then you can get live feedback.
You chose the right body language for Sam. He looks composed, confident, and well organized.
So that was the first question. Now the second question that I got wrong will show up here. And she'll tell me why.
Michael was talking about 2 different animals and was rude about it too. It's always better to admit you don't know something instead of making assumptions.
So I know that's a very simple example, but I mean, it's just a way of how to approach a conversation in an interview. But one thing I really like is the reference zone. So as I said, we worked with subject matter experts and employers themselves to really get some good feedback for your learners. So I just want to show you something right here.
the next few screens, there's some useful information.
There's some text about it, but I want to show you the videos.
Assumptions are not made by facts or knowledge. It's just something that's there. It's not a fact or a knowledge base. So to avoid that when you're job seeking, just believe that if that's the job that you want, then go there with the facts, showing them your skills, showing them what your achievements are, showing them that you deserve to work at that particular job. So assume nothing, but go in there with the assurances that you deserve to be there because you have the skill sets to be there, you have the knowledge base to be there. So go there assuming nothing, show all your knowledge, show all your skills, and do the best that you can be.
I think that making assumptions.
What's funny is I'm one of those people in one of these videos. I was not on this team back then, but if you actually take these courses, you'll see me in there somewhere. I always say that those are the videos that need replaced. Just kidding, but and then so now I want to show you just a really quick way of how the difference between a performance simulation, which is what that was, and a computer-based training module. So here you have Daniel, who's explaining like his life story, things that his experiences, and you know, a lot of people will say, I don't have a job, or I haven't had a lot of work experience, so I don't really have any skills that I can put on my resume. But if you think about life experiences, you know, he was the captain of his quarterly baseball tournament, and so he's got some leadership skills there, right? And then some team building skills, and so there's this course here will show you how to
As you did with Angela, now you're going to help Daniel.
Well, I'm gonna mute her. It will show you how to point out his transferable skills and get people thinking about how they can transfer, like how their skills can transfer from their life experiences. So I kind of cheated and I clicked answers because I just want to get through it with you really quick. So these are the things that can be transferred. And then on the next slide, you would get to see what kind of skills each of these experiences mean. And she's talking in the background, giving them some more context of why baseball is a teamwork skill, and you know, telling people what to do is communication and interpersonal skills. So just wanted to show you that. So you can either have your learners go through the pre-assessment though, or you can define the modules you want for them to take. But tell your learners which courses to complete, or to tell, sorry, and tell your learners which courses to complete. But either way, I would recommend providing some guidance to them, one way or the other. The other guidance I would give you is that make sure to tell your learners to get all the way to the very end, past the feedback survey. It's a 3-question survey to ask them to rate the course that they were just in. So it gives you some really good data in your reports. But they have to get past that to be marked as complete. So I'll show you what that looks like too. Oh wait, I want to keep going. I just want to go home. Yes, get me out of here. All right, so what I mean by being marked complete is on this progress tab up here, you can see all of the courses and your progress so far, right? So as you can see, if they're complete with it, it'll show a full bar. If they're in the process of completing it, they have a half bar. And if they have not started the session yet, it'll be just this small little sliver here. If they don't get all the way through to the end of the course, or to the end of that module, then it will not show them as 100% complete there. I also want to show you how they can email progress. So like if you want to have them do a checkpoint, a lot of our organizations will incentivize doing something with the Academy. And I know that there is the community high school program that is rolling this out. They rolled it out in a summer program, and they incentivized gift cards once they completed select numbers of modules. So they would have checkpoints, and the students would have to click on email progress, and type in who they were going to send the progress report to, and then just their information. And once they send it, it pretty much just sends a PDF of this that's a little more easier to read for the advisor. But it's kind of like an entry into a drawing is what they were doing. So just a neat little thing there. And then, like I mentioned in the performance simulation, that reference zone, we've actually put the reference zone all in one place for all of the topics. So you can go through here and see more information or little tips about each of these topics from the entire academy there. I also mentioned the activity packs over on the advisor tab. All the advisors have access to all the activity packs in one place. So you can actually go in and see what those activity packs are that you could give to your learners or assign for them to do after specific courses. So I think that's it for the demo. And I'm trying to see if we have any questions so far. Let me maximize that screen. Oh, we do have a lot of questions. Yeah, so it should definitely work. I'm going to go backwards. It should definitely work on Chromebooks because it best works in Chrome. And it is just web-based. So a Chromebook should have no issues. And if I log out, I was gonna say, if you on the final slide of my presentation here, I'm gonna give you my contact information. I can set you up your own unique demo if you want to demo this. I can go ahead and show that now while I'm looking through these questions, and then I just have a couple more things to talk about, and then we'll be all done. So about 5 more minutes. Yeah, so Pam, if you would like more information on partnerships, please shoot me an email. The cost for the product, I think I answered that earlier, just in case you missed it, it is completely free. We do not charge for it at all. The only things that we ask from you as a partner is we do want you to do a 3-year commitment with us to implement it. I mean, that's not a hard rule, but it's just kind of for us to project our goals towards the 3.6 million that we have now. But whatever the new goal is they come out with, 5 or 6 million by 2023, we just want to be able to project that with those numbers. And that's all you're really fulfilling with us, is our commitment to skill 5 million people, or whatever that number is they end up publicly announcing at some point this fall. The other thing that we ask is super easy, and it is we ask for 1 student success story per year and 1 staff success story per year. And that's because we want to be able to share those with people like you. I don't have any success stories in this deck because I know you guys are all engineering focused, I believe. And I really enjoyed that keynote this morning about CAD and product design. I'm a user experience designer myself, so design is a huge passion of mine, regardless of if it's product design or UI design. So I really liked that topic and seeing her speak. So we didn't have any organizations yet that have those kind of success stories. But I would love to get some new success stories in your industry. It says, is that for only predetermined country and country tab can use? So I think you're asking about the country icon at the top. So you can switch between platforms by using that that drop down there, right? So you can see all of the different platforms that we have, and you just want to make sure your learners are on the United States one. Is there a way to tell if they actually access the information instead of just clicking through or muting while they watch YouTube or something like that? So good question, Cassie. There are quizzes at the end of each of the computer-based training modules where they actually are completing activities or learning about the CAR technique what is the challenge, what's the action, what's the result. That's a common question in an interview. So that's one session in itself. So then it has a quiz at the end to help them determine what they learned. So that is how you would know if they completed the course. So I don't see any other questions at the moment, so feel free to type some more in, but I want to finish up here. So the ability to be flexible in our delivery approach of a learning management system is even more important today through COVID-19. The distance learning format allows for flexibility and lets the user learn at their own pace while in a virtual classroom. But once life goes back to normal, you could do any combination of these things like I mentioned earlier. You can have an instructor in the classroom that is going around facilitating the conversation around the module that the students are doing on a PC or a tablet, and then answering questions or helping them with the academy. They can assign homework to the students and then just facilitate conversations in a follow-up session. Or if you're doing this virtually, just like the United Way organization I was talking about earlier that I met with this morning, they had webinars to facilitate the conversation with those distance learning students. The Career Center approach, you could have a advisor sit down with the student and do the pre-assessment to kind of determine their customized learning plan. The student can walk away from that session, do those courses, and then come back with the like activity pack template things that they've completed, or they can come back and the advisor can facilitate a discussion. Or if you are with students that don't really have great access to technology, there's the presenter approach. And so the presenter could present a module in class or several modules in class, and then do a group report at the end to say that 25 students went through this module. So that way what you can count those towards your goals of how many people you're wanting to roll this out to. Another way to look at it is in terms of how the Academy has been implemented in the past. It's been used with a variety of organizations, audiences, and programs with high schools, colleges, nonprofits, and government agencies. It has been used by youth, adults, senior citizens, and learners with intellectual disabilities, veterans, justice-involved youth and adults. We have one state that uses it as their Department of Corrections reentry program. Head Start parents, TANF recipients, refugees, ESL students, and international students. And then the right two columns are different courses or programs that some of our partners have implemented the Academy into. So maybe you see something there that kind of inspires you. Also, here I show a sampling of some CTE classes and programs where the Academy has been implemented in the past. So so not only will your students get your technical skills, but then they can get those employability and soft skills needed to enter their career. I remember in that keynote this morning, a big question students asked are how are you going to help me get a job? And learning technical skills is one thing, but not being able to navigate an interview is something that you can have a great degree and then not be able to land a job because you couldn't navigate that interview very well. So really that's the end of my discussion. And I know that I ran like really late, but it's that technical issues at the beginning were a little unforeseeable. So again, there's my email address, thomas.flake, yes, that's really my last name, at accenture.com. And let's see, so yeah, I don't see any other questions on here. Let me check the chat window. And does anybody have any last minute questions at all? I'd love if you think that you're interested, or if you have ideas of how you would think that you could implement this with your students. put those ideas in the chat. I'd love to see what your ideas are, or feel free to email me and tell me how you would have, or any ideas you have. There are no fees. It is completely free. And yes, there is help with resume preparation. So this is my incognito window because I was logged in over here. So that's one of the pre-assessment options. Oh, what happened? Oh, because it thought I was logged in somewhere else. Okay, good. So let's say, for example, I need to, I'm looking for a job, all right, and I want to have a great CV or resume. Yes. So there's identifying your skills. That's the one I showed you a minute ago. There's creating your resume, and there's ways to tailor. It talks about tailoring your resume for the job. So those would be the courses there. I saw that Pedro responded to me. I want to see what he said about getting these slides to you. Okay, yeah. So I sent him a PDF of my deck, and he's going to email it out to the attendees. So you guys will get a PDF of the deck that I just had. And it has my email address in it as well, in case you didn't get it. But I'll put it back up here. So thank you all so much. Please feel free to, oh wait, where do we go to sign up to provide this to my students? Just shoot me an email and I can send you, okay, I guess I should talk about next steps. So I'm sorry. There is an onboarding questionnaire and licensing agreement that I will send you back when you send me an email if you're showing interest. And you can review those and then send them back to me. Once you do that, I just give you your personal access code and the support materials. There's actually a URL that you'll send to your learners that they click on, and it will automatically plug in their access code into that field, so you don't have to worry about it. But yep, that's it. Oh, I was reading that last comment, but yeah, thank you all. Have a great day. I'll stay on here if there's any last minute questions, but if you guys can feel free to drop, and I appreciate your patience with us earlier. So we can provide access codes, if you can still hear me. I didn't mute my mic, just my camera. We can provide access codes to the entire school, or if like the school wanted to break it down and have different programs be able to be reported individually, we could provide access codes on a more lower level basis. I mean, it's really easily customizable on how, great, I'm glad you can hear me. It's really customizable on how you want to break it out, so that way maybe your course has their own access code, but another course, has a separate one, so you can track your learners separately. It's up to you how you want to do that. Otherwise, we could just set up one code for the entire school and everyone can use the same access code. Yes, Lakshmi, I definitely am available for any sessions like that as well. So I can do another overview just like this with them if you want me to show it around to your school admin. All right, everyone, I think I'm going to go ahead and end the broadcast, and thanks, Lakshmi. I'm going to end the broadcast, give everybody a few minutes to take a break, and then you can, as Maddie said a moment ago, head back to the sessions tab on the left-hand side and join your next session, which begins here in just 4 minutes. So thank you, everyone. Take care.